Hello YouTube. Walk through a forest quietly enough and something strange happens. The birds stop singing. A deer bolts into the trees. A squirrel freezes and then disappears. Even animals that have never been hunted by humans often react to us as if we're one of the most dangerous predators on the planet. And in many ways, that's exactly what we are. But why do animals fear humans so much? After all, humans don't have claws, we're not particularly fast, and most animals could easily outrun us. Yet, from elephants to rabbits, from wolves to whales, countless species show signs of caution, stress, or outright fear when people are nearby. To understand why, we need to look at one of the most unusual relationships in the natural world. Because humans aren't just predators, we're something far stranger. Let's start with a basic principle of evolution. Animals that fail to recognize danger tend not to live very long. Over millions of years, natural selection favors individuals that can identify threats quickly and respond appropriately. This is why deer instinctively react to wolves, why birds scatter when a hawk appears overhead, and why fish dart away from larger fish. Fear is often a survival tool. The animals that were cautious enough lived long enough to reproduce. The animals that weren't often became lunch. But humans created a unique problem. Most predators specialize. Lions hunt certain prey. Owls hunt small mammals. Sharks target specific animals. Humans, however, hunt almost everything. Historically, people have hunted mammals, birds, reptiles, fish, and even animals much larger than themselves. Few species were completely safe. As a result, humans became one of the most broadly dangerous animals many species had ever encountered. And unlike other predators, we don't follow the usual rules. A lion generally hunts when hungry. A wolf pack has physical limits. A crocodile can only attack animals that come within reach. Humans, however, can hunt from a distance. We can use traps. We can cooperate in large groups. We can pursue prey for hours. And eventually, we develop tools capable of killing animals that would easily defeat us in a direct fight. From the perspective of wildlife, humans became a predator that seemed almost impossible to predict. Scientists sometimes refer to this as the superpredator effect. Studies have found that many mammals react more strongly to humans than to their natural predators. In some experiments, researchers played recordings of different sounds in the wild. When animals heard wolves, they became alert. When they heard bears, they showed caution. But when they heard human voices, their reactions were often even stronger. Some species abandoned food sources entirely. Others fled immediately. The fear response was often greater than what occurred with traditional predators. Why? Partly because humans have been extraordinarily deadly. Consider North America. When humans first arrived thousands of years ago, the continent contained giant ground sloths, mammoths, mastodons, giant beavers, and many other large animals. Many disappeared not long after humans spread across the landscape. The exact causes are still debated, but human hunting is believed to have played an important role in several extinctions. The same pattern appears in many parts of the world. Again and again, animals encountered humans and suffered losses unlike anything caused by other predators. Evolution notices patterns like that. Over generations, animals that treated humans as dangerous often had a better chance of surviving. But evolution isn't the whole story. Animals can also learn. A deer doesn't need thousands of years of evolution to realize that humans are bad news. One frightening encounter may be enough. Researchers have discovered that many animals quickly associate people with danger. Crows can recognize individual human faces. Some populations even appear to pass this information to other crows. Certain primates learn which humans are threats and adjust their behavior accordingly. Elephants can distinguish between different groups of people based on appearance, scent, and sound. In other words, animals aren't simply born fearing humans. Many animals gather evidence, and the evidence often isn't very reassuring. What's especially interesting is that fear of humans exists even when hunting has largely stopped. National parks provide a fascinating example. Many animals living inside protected areas have never been directly harmed by humans. Yet they remain cautious. This may be because fear itself is relatively cheap. From an evolutionary perspective, Running away unnecessarily is usually better than failing to run when danger is real. Natural selection often favors caution. This is sometimes called the better safe than sorry strategy, and humans have earned a place on the list of things worth being cautious about. There's also another factor that makes humans unusually intimidating. Most predators target the weak. Lions often hunt the old, sick, young, or injured. Humans don't always do that. Throughout history, people have hunted large, healthy adults. We build roads through habitats. We cut forests. We alter rivers. We introduce noise, lights, and machinery. Even when we're not actively hunting, we can dramatically change the environment around us. To many animals, humans don't just represent a predator. We represent a force capable of reshaping entire ecosystems. In some cases, the mere presence of humans changes animal behavior. Researchers call this the landscape of fear. Animals may avoid certain locations, feed less often, become more vigilant, or alter their daily schedules simply because humans are nearby. Some species have even become more nocturnal to avoid interacting with humans. They aren't necessarily responding to direct attacks. They're responding to perceived risk. And perception can be just as important as reality. What's remarkable, though, is that not all animals fear humans equally. Some species living in cities have become surprisingly comfortable with us. Pigeons walk between our feet. Squirrels approach park benches. Urban foxes explore neighborhoods. Over time, animals can learn when humans are relatively harmless. Fear is flexible. It adjusts to experience. But even these animals usually maintain boundaries. Push too close, move too suddenly, or act unpredictably, and the fear returns. Because deep down, caution remains useful. And perhaps that's the biggest reason animals fear humans.